radically changed through prayer. Just pray. If you've ever done this and then you've seen God work, you know how wonderful this is. I've done a little bit of work with Operation Mobilization, and they would go from port to port in the Mediterranean, and then also they would go in the Far East. But they'd have these ships, and they'd be filled with people that do, that are evangelists and mentor and go into churches and help them and help get churches started too. And sometimes the people that are in those countries and that are in charge of the port that they want to go into, they wouldn't let them go in. So these huge ships that they would have like 350 like young people on them, and then plus the staff, medical, everything that they have. It's kind of like YWAM, but it's not medical. It's like ministry, other kinds of ministry. YWAM's all medical ministry, and then Operation Mobilization does like discipleship ministry and evangelism and stuff like that. Starts the churches, and so they would just sit outside of the port, and then they would just start praying, and they would pray. They would pray for 14 hours. They would pray for 24 hours. They would pray as long as it takes, a day, 2 days, and then eventually, for some reason, the people that were in charge of the port, they would give a go-ahead, and their ship could go in there, and then they could start doing their ministry and do their work. And I learned a lot from Operation Mobilization. I learned a lot about how to pray for long periods of time. They intersperse it with like testimonies and with music and things like that, and then they just keep the prayers going. And they're just a wonderful group of people. But we need to be people of prayer. Pray all the time. You wake up in the middle of the night, just say, hey, I know why. I didn't wake up because there's something wrong with me necessarily. I woke up because God says that he wants me to talk to him right now. That's it. And just start talking to him. And you'll probably fall asleep pretty quick because the devil doesn't want you to pray anyway, right? So we have traveled through the and I usually get up if I wake up, which I do a lot, and I'll just put in a half an hour to an hour and a half of study. He wants me to talk to him. You don't have to do that. And then that's it. And just start talking to him. You're probably if I wake up, which I do a lot, and I'll just put in a half an hour to an hour and a half of study. So here Paul is going to deliver an amazing prayer. You're probably if I wake up, and also instruction for prayer. I'll just and so he starts off half an hour to an hour and an hour. So here Paul is going to deliver an amazing prayer. You're probably if I wake up, and also instruction for prayer. I'll just and so he starts off half an hour to an hour and an hour and a half. So here Paul is going to deliver an amazing prayer. You're probably if I wake up, and also instruction for prayer. I'll just so he starts off half an hour to an hour and an hour and a half. So here Paul is going to deliver an amazing prayer. You're probably if I wake up, and also instruction for prayer. I'll just so he starts off half an hour to an hour and an hour and a half. So here Paul is going to deliver an amazing prayer. You're probably if I wake up, and also instruction for prayer. I'll just so he starts off half an hour to an hour and a half. So here Paul is going to deliver an amazing prayer. You're probably if I wake up, and also instruction for prayer. I'll just so he starts off half an hour to an hour and a half. So here Paul is going to deliver an amazing prayer. You're probably if I wake up, and also instruction for prayer. I'll just so he starts off half an hour to an hour and a half. So here Paul is going to deliver an amazing prayer. You're probably if I wake up, and also instruction for prayer. I'll just so he starts off half an hour to an hour and a half. So here Paul is going to deliver an amazing prayer. You're probably if I wake up, and also instruction for prayer. anything that you wish that you had done more while you were here on earth. And so many people say, I wish I had prayed more. Remember, just do it. Don't have that regret one day. Don't say, oh, I wish I just had prayed more. I probably would have seen more open doors, more things accomplished for God. I would have probably seen my time as a Christian being used more effectively, more powerfully, more efficiently, and more productively if I had done more prayer. So we've got we actually have 5 kinds of prayers here. And the first one these come in a couple of lists. And the lists are in 1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 5, and Hebrews chapter 7, verse 25. I was listening to some of the other day, and they said, I think there's 19 different types of prayer. Well, there might be 19 different types of prayer. But according to Paul and Timothy, and according to the writer of Hebrews, he says there's these guys say there's 5. And they both mention 4. They both mention 4, and then one mentions intercessions, and the other mentions requests. And then both of them mention supplications, prayers, and thankfulness. And then one mentions one of the others, and then the other mentions the other one. Okay, so they both mention 4, but there's 5 altogether when you combine them together. Okay, the 2 lists. There's 5 different types of prayer that he mentioned. And the first is supplication. It comes from the word deesis, and deo. That's D-E-O. It means to change. It means this prayer. This prayer request, this concern, this need, this struggle, this challenge, this important issue is so important. I'm going to chain myself to this prayer. I'm going to chain myself to what's needed here. You know, one of my best friends got in a car accident. I'm going to chain myself to this need. I'm going to chain myself to this need until I hear an answer from God. Or, I've got some important ministry. I'm going to chain myself to important ministry I'm going to do, right? And so it's going to be dangerous. It's going to be a little costly. It's going to be challenging, and it's going to be exhausting. And I need a lot of help in doing this, and I'm going to chain myself to this, man. I'm just going to chain myself to this until I hear from God, until I see God work, until I see the doors beginning to open. So there's things that are so important to you. There's needs that people have in their life. And you say, Lord, I'm going to do the supplication thing right now. Supplication is not a word that we use, right? It's just not a word that we use very much, not even in our Christian circles. And we have to understand that God wants us to chain ourselves to prayer requests as we bring them to Him. It's just not a word that we use very much, not even in our Christian circles. And we have to understand that God wants us to chain ourselves to prayer requests as we bring them to Him.